What is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, cloud swing traders? Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. Hope you guys are feeling good. We got Albert in the house. Good morning to you. Good morning to Amy, Andy, Christopher. We got Dragon. Good morning to you. Good morning to Jeff, Jimmy the Stick. Good morning to Joan, Lauren, Marius, Michael, Mike, Ray, Russ, Tim, all my people out in YouTube land, all my lurkers in the background of YouTube. Not gonna say nothing all day. It's okay. I still love you. Hit that like and subscribe button. Jimmy the Stick says, "Good morning. What are your thoughts on Stub, which should be an IPO offering this Monday? Toying with an idea of buying a few shares. I don't really play the IPO game too much for the most part. Um, I don't mind having a couple shares of something if you're interested in it. But there's two ways to play it. One would be, and this just goes for we'll cover the markets in a second, but I think it's a good point. There's a lot of excitement around IPOs. There's a lot of enthusiasm. If you could get it right when it comes out, you usually want to be kind of quick on the plays. So it depends if you're asking me like, do I take a trade or a investment into it, like a longer term hold? If you're taking a quick trade, yeah, they can work out really well, really quick. But you have to be very, very quick on it's not you're not taking a setup, it's kind of as soon as it comes out, you're just kind of playing momentum. Other than that, usually historically, most IPOs will eventually, I think it's like 95%, it's a high 90s, but most companies that IPO at some point in the future, their pricing will be lower than the IPO price. So if you miss an IPO, even though it's really exciting, there's usually a better time, better price once you get some earnings out, once you get some a little bit relaxed time. Also, IPOs usually have a lockout period, so early investors, not you buying an IPO, but the pre-IPO people, they usually can't sell it for 60 days, and that usually drives that little push to the downside. So I don't think you have to rush on anything, but for a quick trade, something like Stub can push. Other than that, whew, speaking of pushing, we got the SPY at all-time highs this morning with a little help from, oddly enough, Oracle just absolutely pumping. They were getting crushed on earnings, and then they talked about AI. Apple has its conference yesterday. They should have been talking more about AI. So they mentioned their AI in their products. They mentioned the AI chips. Otherwise, the coolest product for me, I think, was the earbuds. The what is it? Airbuds. I think Airbuds, that '90s movie with the dog that plays basketball. I think, but yeah, those things I thought were kind of cool. I think the phone looked kind of cool. I don't know if it was enough to change the market and just rampage it up. I think the only thing that's going to do that for Apple is just actually building out AI, and maybe there's a future update for it. But there's some cool features, some cool products, but just not enough to really get Apple moving. Spy though is jumping up a little bit based on tech, and then we got PPI this morning that came in. That came in at 2.8, I believe. They were expecting, I think it was 3.5. So pretty light on PPI. We only have CPI left, I think, this week for tomorrow before the bell. So we'll watch that one. But usually, if PPI comes in again, the last time we had, I think we had CPI first, then PPI last month. CPI came in essentially in line, slightly light. PPI came in a little bit hot, to the hot side. So the fact that PPI came down and not came in hot today, huge relief for the market, and I think that should be a decent sign, a decent tell for CPI coming in. Also light for tomorrow as well. We'll see. Other than that, little gap and go from yesterday. However, we are taking out this red candle. Even this red candle, that was a big retest candle as well. So we might have some sellers at all-time highs. Some people maybe trying to lock in some gains. Somebody that maybe had a thought of like, hey, this is too high. That candle is terrifying, and now they're actually up again. So maybe they'll use that opportunity to pull back a little bit. However, once you get this kind of open, I think we run up from here. So um, we'll see if we get a pullback first somewhere in this market. If we get a full-on pullback, you're looking for probably about 649.91. Otherwise, the two psychological levels we've been watching for the last 2 days, 651.50, and then the very high of that candle, 652.22. If we get there, I think we probably get into the 650, 150 zone, and then we'll see if we end up retesting yesterday's VPOC at some point. But it is high. I've got no targets to the higher side except just higher. That's it. I think eventually we are not at all-time highs in the market quite yet. You got or we are at all-time highs. I think we go higher. I think that's the better way to phrase that. You got the Qs also right at all-time highs. Let's see where this wants to actually open. Otherwise, this candle from August 13th, we had a high of 583.32, and we are currently 5 cents above it. So this would be a new all-time high on Qs. Also a little bit of a retest gap. Again, I think the red candle is a little bit more important. That was a retest as well. So I don't know if that was really. I don't think we're really trapping shorts, but that is a very good location for Qs to open if we do. Otherwise, look for some kind of support. Really big support at 580.54. So if we make it down there, that's probably where some bulls are going to be a little bit more enthusiastically buying. Otherwise, again, really good pivot breakout. If we don't really retest that much, I get it, but I would like to see a little retest. We'll see how the market wants to move. But today is a day where we could play both directions. Be careful on that opening candle. If it's looking bullish and we want to try to buy a pullback, I'm for it. Let's look at that. If we start breaking down that opening candle, then maybe we look for something short. We got plenty of room on both sides of the aisle for today in the market. So I don't know where the sentiment is going to come in at these all-time high levels, but I think we could play both directions if the market wants to set us up for that. We got Bitcoin is having a really good day today. Uh, Also surpassing that first resistance, not first, but the one of the resistance that we were looking for, which is this 113,622. We are slightly above that. I think you got your next target on Bitcoin, probably about 114.30, 385. I don't think that's a incredibly strong level. Otherwise, we got 114,744 for Bitcoin. Let's take a look at Oracle, since that one is going crazy. Only up a cool $80 today, which is not bad. I guess that's a good day for Oracle. All-time highs, I believe. Yep. So monster gap on this one. Um, the monthly tells me it's probably a retest. I think that's probably a retest. The daily would also be a retest from yesterday's candle. Plenty of room to the downside. I don't think this is all the way coming back to this 241.75. Not anytime soon. I'd be absolutely shocked if we did. I think we also have some kind of big support around 256.86. Plenty of room in both directions on this one. We're gonna have to look at intraday candles. Again, all-time highs, no levels higher, but monster gap on a missed earnings. Again, it wasn't the earnings pushing it, it was their AI commentary. So the algos who just came in as soon as they saw miss. Uh, they pushed it down a decent amount before this rally, so this is actually probably close to about $100 move from the lows of that pre-market into where we're sitting now. So really good move on this. Plenty of room to the downside. I'd be kind of cautious to the upside on this one, but I think this setup, this gap, we'll see where the next couple days lead for Oracle. If their estimates as to what they are putting out is anywhere close to correct, uh, this has got a probably about another $600 upside to it. So I think buying the dips, I think investors would be interested in trying to scoop a couple shares if it comes lower from here. So I think this would be a buy the dip. Might have to wait more than today on that one. Let's see, Palantir. Palantir also really good breakout day yesterday. Fantastic close with the rest of the market. Yesterday was a little bit, again, one of those days, and we'll see what kind of day today is. But for day trading purpose, the morning has been rough. Yesterday I traded Hinge and Nvidia in the morning. In the afternoon, I also ended up trading Hinge and Nvidia. So I just stuck with the same two stocks. The first two, not so good. I think I lost just under 2 hours in the morning. Got 2 hours on Hinge in the afternoon, 2 hours on Nvidia in the afternoon too. So we had a steady pump, but it just takes us a while to do something in this market. We'll hopefully get a little bit more range today, as opposed to just a couple opening high wave candles and just sit there and just watch paint dry. Other than that, really good move on Palantir for today. Again, a little bit of a retest. The fact that we have been getting these closes now above this 158.49 and holding got a little scary at some of those points, especially on that next breakdown. Other than that, they've been holding it. I think we have some more room to the higher side. Again, I think your risk to reward is probably better to the downside, although that's going against the momentum. You got 170, 179 is your first target to the higher side. If you get past that, 173.15 would be your next target. If you're getting up to that, you're already clearing this entire candle. So I think that's going to be a tough one for us to hit today. I'd be looking for this 170, 196 to the higher end. That being said, it is a retest gap. Just money longs were piling in here. There's probably a lot of shorts piling in there too. Not loving this gap. So if you get this pullback, I think the buy the dip moment will be 161.90, which would be a very, very strong buy spot. I think on this one gives you really good risk reward if you're trying to get some Palantir at these inflated levels. It's still very high, but it is what it is. Market loves it. So I'd see if we get a pullback first. Right now, I think you have a little bit more room to the downside than you do to the higher side from here. But if you get that pullback, kind of flip the risk to reward a little bit, I think that's a little bit more solid of a play. You got Nvidia is looking real good today. I wish I didn't sell my shares at my 2R target. Wish I would have held this one overnight. Uh, but yeah, also opening into a monster resistance. Um, pretty good resistance, I would say. Pretty decent resistance, somewhere right around this 176.59. If we get above it, you don't really have your next, I would say your next target's not going to be easy today to get there, especially since we're up a lot. But I think this gap fill looks really impressive. 180.22, I think, would be your target. That still gives you about just under $4 to the higher side from here. Um, I think if you could, I think if the market could drop this one a little bit, I'd be looking or interested somewhere around 174.70 to go long, somewhere around that zone. See if this one wants to pull back again, or if we get candles, if this thing opens, rips, closes higher than 176.59. We do have room to the higher side, but there will be a couple other spots in there. But really good looking bounce on the vids. Again, everything tech wise. Thank you, Oracle, not thank you, Apple. Odd. Very odd. We got Coinbase. Crypto looks really good today so far. We got a little bit more room, I think, in Bitcoin. That might help us on some of these crypto names as well. Okay candle from I like the open a lot better than the close, but pretty big buying candle. I wanted to see us get up to about 320.95 or higher on that close. For today, retest gap. I don't really want to see us hit that 313.89 again. I want to stay above that. Um, but maybe somewhere around this 322.26 on a pullback, maybe somewhere around this 320.95 if that was where kind of that resistance was. Maybe that's our stronger support. You have slight resistance right above you, 324.61, and you got 326.96 would be your next target. Bigger target. If we get a close today, especially if we pull back first and then we close anywhere 328.79 or higher, that would be my sign that we're probably getting out of this chop, but still inside the chop. Retest gap. I don't think I would be a buyer at open, but it's going to be tough to short that one today as well. So we got a pullback. I'd be interested if we do to buy that dip. DELL. This is embarrassing, but this might be my favorite one so far. Very. Don't tell anyone I said that. It is a retest gap from yesterday. It's also up a pretty decent amount for Dell. If we could hang out, if we open here in the next 14 minutes, I'd see if we get like a 3 minute high wave candle, something like that. But I want this thing to stay above 123.26. If we could do that, there's really not that much resistance up till about 325. If we are doing this, opening below this candles, this 323, 123.22 zone, 123.23. I probably wouldn't touch it. Maybe see if we can get that retest. Otherwise, you got your support at 122.81 and then more support at 122.45. If it can't hold that, it's probably a full-on retest down to 120.82. So let's see if this one could get back to where it was about 2 seconds ago. And if it could get up there, open, get some candles to close, the market definitely has some bullish sentiment for now, at least. And I would have some decent room on it too. Risk reward, not bad. I kind of like it. APLD. Any views on open? Yeah, it's annoying. Yeah, that's it for that one. We'll pull that one up next. APLD Applied Digital. Nice little retest gap from yesterday. However, volume is not incredible on this one. Volume is fairly low comparatively. It's pretty steady at least. Um, your next target on this one is probably about $15.84. You also have a little resistance at 1576 and some kind of support. I'm not sure how strong that would be, but 1543. So in the middle of all of that for now. I do like the fact that we are taking out this red candle, but again, this is where I immediately looked for that volume and unimpressed. Um, this candle right here, even this red candle right here, it's all lower volume. Um, if this was like a big volume spike on that candle, big volume spike on this one, I'd be a little more interested. I think this one probably actually chops around today. We'll see, but looks decent. Nice little pullback. I think I'm not enthused to buy it at open. If this one wants to pull back and give me a little bit more solid pullback, I think I'd be waiting for $14.99 on this one. But one of these smaller stocks that can get some decent momentum, decent runs in it. Looks good, but I'd be patient on waiting just to see if I can get in. Let's see, we got open. Let's take a look at that one. Highly manipulated. If this thing can get going, it will be fantastic. I think it will trap about 7 times before this thing gets going, though. So just be careful. This is a big bearish engulfing candle. Until you get past, if you can get a candle that closes past 679, then I think you get your next push. Otherwise, it might just be chopping in here for a while. It's already up over, I don't even know what the percentage wise is, but from July, where it was sitting at 80 cents, you're up massive already. Even if you caught that last pullback, you're getting in about $2. You're up $4 per share on that one. Absolutely crushing it. So you do have a lot of people in this one. It is starting to be like a little retail favorite. I think this one can have the ability to do some kind of crazy squeeze. We were talking about this one where it might have room to like $14. There's a path to like 25, but it is up a lot. So be careful. You really got to pick your place on this one if you want to try it, right? So if you want to, because the intraday is going to be tough on trading this one. I'll tell you where I would wait for today to take a stab at it. Probably about $6.18 if we could get down there. Um, you get decent risk reward, but if you want to hold something overnight, you can throw an R on it. See if you're in there for the squeeze. Worst case, it goes to zero. You could throw a stop at like $3 on this one, something really low. Plenty of room to the higher side if this thing can get going. But so I don't want to say avoid it completely. It will be very annoying. Once you get past this $6.82 mark and you get a close up there, I think that's your sign for the next move. But you're already missing out on about 40 cents on the way up, which is kind of huge in a $6 stock. So be careful. Buy the dips. I think retailers love it. I think it could definitely get momentum. And I'd have about a $14 target on it if this thing can actually start to squeeze. Let's see, Mustafa, what's up, buddy? We got AMD and Tesla. Yep, we haven't looked at either of those. AMD absolutely fighting its way back I was gonna say today, but realistically, there's been a little bit of a battle on AMD lately. A stock that has not been looking that good. Every single day it opens, it looks really good today. So easy short then, I guess. But anytime this one's been opening the last couple days, there's been a decent fight. We didn't quite get down. I think a lot of people were looking for this 146.74. I was one of them. Close that gap up. We got kind of close. What I do like is three bar reversal. So let's redraw this out here. This is where we opened. This is where we close the candle. This is where all our price action is. Threw a hammer in after almost retesting, not quite. To the resistance side, we'd have a little bit of resistance here. We're now taking that out. We're now taking this out. So pretty big massive move. This would actually be a red hammer too. Technically, this three bar candle would be red. So that probably gives us a little bit more momentum. I'd be bullish. Where we should have been breaking down, we were having big issues doing it. So yeah, I'd be leaning pretty bullish on this one. For today though, target's probably about 165.83. If we get through this 163.87 and yeah, that's the last one. 163.87. If we can get through that, we should have a little bit more steam rolling to the higher side. Um, I don't think we come back down here to retest for a while. We'll see what happens if today's a big bearish engulfing candle. All right, well, maybe there's a case to buy it with just good risk reward on a three bar play. But otherwise, if this thing pulls back, watch this 160.45. I think that's where we should hold. But it looks good. Sentiment looks good. Pretty big gap up for today already. So there's already a lot of the market makers have made their money. Other than that, very interesting. Very interesting after that bounce. Wave count wise, one, two, three, four. If this is all four and you get that next pullback, that'd be a spot I'd be looking. But didn't quite fill that gap, and I know a lot of traders probably frustrated about the quickness of the bounce, I would say. Tesla, Tessie. Mm, scoot this one right up higher on the list. Good gap and go. Still inside day from this bearish engulfing candle, almost bearish. Covered the body at least. That came in on September 8th. The opening price is right at a resistance. We've been through it obviously one, two times already. We got close to it yesterday. If we could get above 351.43, I think my next target would take me finally into this 362.10 zone that I've been looking for a while. This is even still a good open up here. I like it bullish. I'd want to try to figure out how to get into this thing bullish on a pullback. So let's say we open where we're at, maybe we get that pullback into like I don't know 348.84. But otherwise, I think that's a very good looking gap and go. Still inside this day, and we have one resistance slightly above us. Let's see if we can get some selling before we get some buying. But if not, I'd be chasing. I'd try to chase it up to 362. Still about what $11 higher. I like it. We did talk coin already. Coin is interesting. I'll give you the Cliff Note version, but big retest from yesterday. Really, really good candle. I wish it closed a little bit higher. Watch to see if we get a pullback into 320.85. No stranger to volatility on this one, so maybe you could get that price 320.85, 320.90, something like that. Otherwise, you do have a little bit of resistance on the way up. You got 324.25. You've got 326.98. You got 328.34. If we could close past roughly this 328, whatever, 52, if we could do that, especially today, that would set us up where we're probably looking for gap fills or into bigger resistance into like 351.29 before the next kind of pullback. So it's got some room, does a double bottom, swing trade looks fantastic. Would love to see this thing come back down. Not maybe all the way to this 314 zone, but give me like that 320 and change, and I think that would be an interesting trade for sure. For day trading, small little resistance in the way. XYZ. We've got interesting. Still below the 20 EMA, so maybe a little EMA resistance. I also have $76.53. We got through that yesterday. Was not able to hold it. We got through that on September 5th. Not able to hold it. Um, High wave indecision. We're gonna have to play the next candle. That's green, so this is gonna be, I think, a little bit of a small retest. If it comes back to like $75.82, maybe. But right now we're still chopping around. Interesting looking gap though for today. If we could finally get a break and close past 76.53, I think that looks good. AMD is starting to run a little. Uh, Next target for me would be about $78.20. I don't think that happens today, but if the market wants to go crazy bullish, I'm not opposed. XYZ. Interesting. We got hymns. Uh, yeah, let's take this off. What do we got left? Minute still. Uh, Good gap and go. I've got a huge resistance, $50.28. I've also got a pretty good resistance, $50. Good psychological 50. Other than that, you have a inverted candle. We're still inside of that one, but we are taking out the opening price and the closing price of it. We also have a decent follow through after that. I think we're probably trapping some bears on this one. That might be enough to get us through some of that resistance. If we could get a pullback somewhere, there's a lot of room. I would take us into $48.19. This might be a little squeeze effect. I think we're actually trapping a couple bears on this one. It's tough to find actual bears being trapped because there's no bears anymore. They're just, where are the bears? Send me an email if they're bears. If you see a bear in the wild, let me know. We got Tesla AMD, we covered that one. Carl, good morning to you. Let's see if I'm missing any of the tickers. 3350 for my boy Mustafa. Nice bullish engulfing candle for today. Probably targets. Well, target for today about 735 if you get through it. You got that 200 at 785, and then you got 817 would be your next actual target if you get through that 200 EMA. I think we covered all tickers. I'm seeing if I missed any additional. I don't think so. Everybody at YouTube land, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button if you've not done so already. Other than that, okay, we'll see how today.